Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today I'm doing my Premier League predictions for next season. I don't really think I need to do it any more to explain it. It's on a tier list, so it should be pretty obvious because there's the Champions tier, the UCL tier, the Europa League, and I'm gonna change that to 5 because I forgot that now. And then this can be 6 and 7. There we go. Now I think everything's properly explained. Arsenal, I think, will be in the 2 to 5 category. They're not going to be champions. I think we all know that. There's no way Arsenal are being champions. They're good. I just don't think they're good enough to be champions. Liverpool, this is a really tough one, but I'm going to put second, I think. Now, recently, based on the signings they've made, I've been considering putting them first, but I just feel like there's one team that I'm really thinking, if they make the right signings, could honestly win the league. In fact, there's two that I could put above them, so I'm gonna leave them there for now. I'll rearrange them in the tiers after. Next is Manchester City. I think Manchester City is going to be in the 2 to 5 category. I think the fight for the title will be between Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Newcastle. I'd say the top 5, right? I don't think any other team's going to break into that because, maybe Brighton could fight to try and be in the top 5, but will end up ultimately being out of the top 5, or maybe just slipping into the top 5 ahead of an Arsenal or a Manchester City, or even a Chelsea, right? But I think it will be them 5 mainly competing. Next is Manchester United. Honestly, 15th to 17th. I'm gonna say I think there's not really going to be many major improvements for next season. I think they're making some okay signings, but I think they're just going to be just as bad. Next is Chelsea, with quite a young squad. I feel like over the next years they'll slowly get stronger and stronger and possibly fight for that title. I just don't think this year is going to be that year where they get the title. I think they'll come second or third, and I think the top 3 will be a really strong 3 this season. Next is Newcastle, and now this is the team I'm going for champions. Now, I think if they make the right signings this year, that's what's going to make them champions. I think Liverpool, Chelsea, and Newcastle are going to be fighting for the top 3 this season. I think 2 and 3 could go either way between Chelsea and Liverpool, but I think Newcastle are the champions this season. Now, I know this is a bit of a wild prediction, or these are wild predictions, but it's just my list, so if you disagree, comment down below. I'm happy to talk about it. And also remember to like and subscribe if you do enjoy this video. Next is Aston Villa. They always kind of feel like a team that'll land in the 6 to 7 spot now, possibly fight for the top 5. But I think 6 is their spot now. I feel like it's just almost reserved for them. Next is Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest will have a bit of a fall off, but not too much. I think they will land in the 8 to 10 category, probably about 9. I think they will get about top 10. But I just don't think they'll end up having a proper good season. I could move them down to 11 to 14 if it was necessary. Next is Brighton. Brighton is going in with Aston Villa. I'm tempted to put Brighton in 6th instead of Aston Villa, but we'll just see how I feel by the end of this video where I rearrange the tiers. Next is Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Now this is a tough one, but I'm going to say honestly Bournemouth will go in 11 to 14. I feel like last season they had a good season, but I feel like this season there's going to be so many more stronger teams where they're going to struggle to get to that top 10. So I think they're going to go maybe 11th or 12th. Next is Brentford. I have them coming in the 15th to 17th category with Manchester United. I think they will come highest out of the 3 teams in that category, but I still don't think they're going to do very good. So that's why they're there. Next is Fulham. They're going in the 11 to 14. I don't even know what I think about Fulham. I think they're a solid team, and I don't think they're going to get relegated anytime soon. But I also don't think the next season are going to fight for the top 10, really. I think they will. I think there's a possibility that they could struggle, but I think they won't struggle, really. I think it'll just be a mid-table side. Next is Crystal Palace. Now, I want to put them 8 to 10, but I feel like there's another team that I'd maybe want to put there instead. So that's why I'm putting Crystal Palace in the 11 to 14. I could move them up to there, depending on what I feel like is it the conference? I can't remember. Is it the Europa League they're in? It's either the Conference League or Europa League. I feel like by being in that European competition, it'll give them a bit of motivation to do even better in the league and try, get to the Champions League instead of Europa League or Conference League. And I personally think that they'll do quite well next season. Everton. Now this is a team I was thinking to go there. I was thinking either Spurs, Crystal Palace, or Everton to go in the 8 to 10 category with one other surprise team. I'm gonna go Everton. I feel like the new stadium is gonna give them a bit of an advantage. I think even they will have to get used to the new stadium, but they will be the team playing in their new stadium the most out of any team, obviously. So I feel like after a little bit of time, they will get used to it. They might even be used to it already by the start of the season based on preseason games and stuff. But I think Everton will have a strong season in the new stadium. I don't know if they won't end up in Europe or anything. I think they will reach the top 10. West Ham. This is a really surprising one. People might think, but I've got West Ham to get relegated. They finished the season, for a lot of the second half of the season, they were playing really bad, right? And honestly, it looked like they could have got relegated. They were in 17th. They were not too far ahead of Ipswich. Now I'm not going to be too sad if they get relegated, since I don't really like West Ham. I actually want them to get relegated, to be honest. But honestly, we'll just have to see, and I think they are getting relegated. This is not me being biased. I genuinely think they could have a proper chance of getting relegated. Tottenham is going in 11 to 14. I think they will have a major improvement over their last season. I don't think their players were even bad. I don't think they were even bad last season. I just feel like they were struggling to get wins against, all of the top 10 sides, because all of the top 10 sides were really strong teams last season. Even some like Brentford, who finished outside the top 10 but barely 11th. I think Tottenham will have a stronger season, because I feel like, based on the way they're playing, they could have easily came top 5, but it was just 1 goal separating them, 1 or 2 goals separating them from getting 3 points against different teams, which ended up making them drop tons of points to teams like Chelsea, who had an amazing season, Liverpool, amazing season, Newcastle, Arsenal, City, alright seasons. I think Tottenham were playing actually alright last season, but not good enough, I guess, to come top 10. I don't really know how to explain. They were playing good, but they got stopped by better teams, if that makes sense, or teams that were doing better. Next is Leeds. Leeds is getting relegated. Now, I think I'm gonna put them in 19th. I've been thinking over Burnley and Leeds to stay up, but I think Leeds will be the one to go down, because I feel like last year, I feel like we got a reason for Burnley staying up. Next is Sunderland. Sunderland is getting relegated. Sunderland will come last, because I feel like, Leeds and Burnley are the only two of the relegated sides that actually have a proper shot of staying up. But Leeds, I think, are definitely getting relegated. Sunderland, I think, are definitely getting relegated. And I think they'll definitely come in last. They're the weakest of the 3 promoted clubs. You never know. They could pull off a miracle. But I think they are getting relegated. Next is Burnley, 15th to 17th. I think because they had a really, really strong defence last season, I think that will really help them this season. And I think they will barely scrape survival. Since they had a really strong defence, they barely let any goals. They just need a really strong goal scorer who'll score lots of goals for them in the Premier League. And then I'm confident in them staying up, maybe even a few seasons, and start being like a Brentford or like what Nottingham Forest was, where they're surviving but they're not getting really top 10. Next is Wolves. I remember out of all the European clubs, they had like, I think the best. I think they had the best form for a while, right? Because they went like, I don't know, maybe 6 games unbeaten for a while, and actually maybe 5 wins in a row. So I think if they bring that form from the end of the season into this new season, I don't think they'll get top 5 or even 6th or 7th, because there's going to be so many strong teams this season, in my opinion. But I think they have a solid shot of being the bottom of the top 10, if that makes sense. 10, 9th or 8th. Anyway, I'm now going to rearrange these. I think the relegation category, I think I'm happy with. Burnley, I think will come 17th. I think 16th will be Man United. Brentford will come 15th, because I feel like they always have a really strong player each season. Whether or not the strong players get taken or they stay, that's a different story. I think that they do have strong players each season, so I think they'll have one strong player that will help them survive relegation. I think for this season, Spurs are going 11th, because I feel like I was thinking about putting them top 10, but I was like, nah. Crystal Palace, I have a strong feeling about next season putting them there. Fulham above Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will be 14th, so not a horrible season, but also not a season to be proud of based on their last season. Anyway, next, I got Everton to come in 10th. Now, this is really tough between Nottingham Forest and Wolves. Wolves had a really strong end to last season, but Nottingham Forest had a really weak end to last season, so I'm thinking just a slight advantage, maybe even like just on goal difference, Wolves will come out on top and be 8th, which I'm actually pretty happy with, because I don't mind Wolves. Aston Villa and Brighton, another tough one. I think it could come down to goal difference between them two. I think Brighton will come out on top, because I feel like, I'm pretty sure they have quite a young squad. I'm not 100%. I think they have one of the youngest squads in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I think they will come into the season really strong. I think they could be in top 3 for a lot of the season, but then I think they will have a few games that ultimately drag them down to 6. I just had a bit of a voice. I can't speak. I just had a bit of a voice crack there. Here, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I feel like Arsenal or Manchester City are coming 5th, because I feel like Liverpool and Chelsea are going to have really strong squads next season. I'm going to go... I feel like I want to go Manchester City, because like, if you think about it, their injuries last season brought them all the way down to 9th, I think, at some point. So if they have like a bunch of injuries and can't really fix it, then you never know. They could end up in bottom 10, or they could end up in like 10th by the end of the season. I feel like, but you can't really predict injuries. You can't really predict, I think Haaland's going to break his leg against Bournemouth in October. I don't know if they're actually playing Bournemouth in October, because I do not keep track of Manchester City's games, but you never know. You can't really predict that. You know, that's just an example. You can't really predict that. Arsenal, though, unless they sign like a really strong striker like Gyökeres, I think they will have a really weak season. So I think, once again, another one that could honestly just ultimately come down to goal difference. But I feel like if Man City don't have any like major injuries, or have injuries that, you know, leave a player out of the squad for a certain amount of time, then I think that honestly Manchester City could honestly fight for the title, but I think they will ultimately come in 4th. Now, they might be unpopular opinions, because Arsenal are used to coming 2nd at this point, could even be 3rd this season, but I think these 4 in the UCL 2 to 5 spot will be really close. I think it could honestly come down to goal difference between all 4 of them, or like 1 point separating all 4 of them, but it we'll honestly just have to see how the season goes when it starts. Anyway, next, Liverpool and Chelsea. I think genuinely it could genuinely come down to who has more goals. I think goal difference could even be same. I think it could come down to, Chelsea has like 45 goals. Liverpool has 47 goals. I feel like that's a really low amount. But I think Liverpool has made like really extremely strong signings. Yet Chelsea have made, I guess, like more signings, and they have more younger players that I don't know. Like Florian Wirtz hasn't I swear he's never been in the Premier League before, so that means he has never really had a chance to prove himself in the Premier League. So what if this transfer, what if he's an absolutely horrible player in the Premier League? Same with like Frimpong, they're no right back. Same with like a lot of players they get. You could say the same about Chelsea with the players who haven't played in the Premier League, whereas they have got in João Pedro and Liam Delap, who'd done pretty good last season in the Premier League. For teams that you could honestly say are like quite a bit worse than Chelsea. So this is a really tough one. I feel like I should put Liverpool there, right? Because I feel like I feel like most people are going to predict Liverpool first. So I feel like I should put Liverpool there because that's probably actually what's going to happen. But I have a really good feeling about Chelsea. I'm going to put Chelsea in second. Third will be Liverpool. Now, remember, this is just my list. If you think it's really unpopular opinion, one second. If you think it's really unpopular opinion, then honestly just let me know. And I'll hear you out. Anyway, that is it over there. Hope you guys did enjoy. Like, subscribe. See you next time. Goodbye.